I do think that Clemson lost a lot of key players, so they're going to. It's going to be tough because
View what the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.
All right, guys. Welcome to the YMANation podcast, episode number 46.
46, guys.
Y'all knew she was going to jump in. 46, guys.
I mean, I was worried for a second because I heard over there.
Episode number
your phone.
46, guys. If you're on right now, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YMANation podcast. We have a lot of good information. The most thing that I'm excited about is the drawing that we're going to be preparing for.
We'll tell them all about it.
We're going to talk about some money. All right.
I like talking about money. I mean, I don't know about y'all.
She does like talking about money. So we have a couple of contests going on, throughout the month of February. Our drawing is for everyone who hashtag YMANation down in the comment section. So all you have to do is hashtag on this video, hashtag YMANation down in the comment section, and your name will go into our drawing, which is on next Friday.
Next Friday, y'all got that?
Next Friday. So
mark it on your calendar.
Today is the last episode, because it's the last one for the month of February. So today will be the last episode to go into the drawing for the month of February for our cash drawing, which we will do next Friday. We'll do a live drawing.
What y'all gonna do?
They are going to hashtag YMANation and win some money.
Right?
How simple is that? Just go down in the comment section, hashtag YMANation.
Easy money.
And
easy money.
If you guys are following us on our other social media chains, especially on Facebook under YMANation, we have a special drawing that we are going to do in March.
Uh-oh. Y'all ready, guys?
All right, drum roll. So
That's what y'all get.
all right, so
I'm really tired, y'all.
okay, so this is the drawing.
Yeah.
$2,000.
Yeah.
$2,000. So we did that in December, New Year's of 2020. The contest was if we got to 1,000 subscribers, we were going to do a drawing for $1,000. And guess what? A week sooner than that, around Christmas, we actually hit 1,000 subscribers. So on New Year's, we actually, instead of doing 1,000, we tossed in an extra $1,000 and did a drawing for $2,000. So we had people win up to $2,000 in cash. It was 20 people won $100 each. Now we did 20 people won $100 each. This is what's going to be good about this contest, because on the last one, it was everyone that subscribed, their name was in the drawing. So that means that you only had the chance to win once. But for this drawing, you had a chance to win more than once.
Okay. Because
our YMANation Facebook page is booming. So every episode on Facebook on under YMANation, all you have to do is share the video and tell your friends to subscribe. If we reach that 2,000 mark, we will do a drawing the last episode of March for $2,000.
$2,000, guys.
$2,000. So we'll choose 20 people to win 100 each.
And you have multiple chances to win.
You have multiple chances to win because everybody on each of the episodes, every time you hashtag YMANation, the name goes in the drawing. If you share, your name goes in the drawing.
So what's the deadline?
the deadline is going to be on your episode, which is that Wednesday, the 31st.
Okay.
Real
Y'all heard
estate
it.
Wednesday will be the last date, and that'll be on March the 31st.
Mark your calendar. Y'all just take out your calendar, mark it, and then hashtag YMANation
And share.
and share.
We're going to get to 2,000.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So let's talk some football. We got
football
guru
What?
over here. We got a football guru over here.
Guess what started this week?
What started?
Spring practice started this week.
Spring practice.
Spring practice.
All right.
I'm excited.
I know.
You know what? Because that means we're one step closer to football season.
That's
like,
right.
The true football season. But there were games that happened over the weekend, and we said we were going to discuss those. So, SoCon is playing their season late due to COVID issues.
I bet. So I remember when we first started, you would have a segment called what was it called?
The 2-minute drill.
2-minute drill. And it was specifically for the women who didn't.
Yeah, we'll start that back up.
Right. So, but I'm thinking on the opposite side of the camera that there's females like, spring, what? So can you tell them what is spring practice?
I mean, it officially starts like the practice season, getting ready for the upcoming football season.
Which is in September.
August, September, yeah.
So it's practice where the teams start getting together and they start
And
practicing and getting prepared.
Getting prepped for the upcoming season. And that's where players win their positions because they're competing against one another in spring practice. They're doing scrimmages against one another. So even though you're on a team, you're still competing against one another in the sense of winning that starting position.
Like
so
who's going to be on that
who's
starting?
going to be a starter, right? So right now my son's winning the start position.
Let's go.
High school.
Hashtag let's go.
Let's go. So there were some games over the weekend for SoCon. You have Mercer versus Wofford. Now these games are on ESPN Plus, so that's where they're broadcasted at. So you have to subscribe to ESPN Plus. So I didn't really have opportunity to watch any of these games. So
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did she say?
She said, "It's just a credit score, relax."
Are you checking your credit score?
Huh? Hold on.
I can't delve in, but we can go over the scores. Mercer versus Wofford. Wofford won 31-14. We had Western Carolina versus Furman. And that game was Furman won 35-7. And then Samford and see, they don't have this on ESPN. So
35-7. That's almost a
35.
blowout.
That is almost a blowout.
35-7.
Yep. So that's just a couple of the games that SoCon had over the weekend. So we'll continue to track them and see how those teams do. It's a little weird because they're in off season and you got, some of the larger conferences starting spring practice and they're in the games. And I think a lot of them are like really regretting the decision to have a late season like that. They should have just played the regular season, But
They have to adjust, with the
they
COVID
have
and
to.
everything.
They
so.
have to. So, hey, guess what?
What?
So you was talking about EA Sports was bringing back the college football game.
Video game. Yep.
Guess what?
What?
Notre Dame announced that they will not participate or not be a part of the EA game unless players benefit from their likeness in the game.
We talked about that last week, right?
Notre Dame?
Well, not them, and not them as a team. But yeah.
But Notre Dame has specifically came out and said they will not participate. They will not be in that game unless the players benefit from their likeness in the game.
That means if they have a player that's like on the actual game, that player need to gain something from it
for their likeness. So
I think that's fair.
So now they're like going back and forth, like, is Notre Dame making a smart decision and how it's going to impact and things like that. So I found that interesting because you was talking about the game last week.
I think
coming out.
Either or, like people's going to be okay. Like the game comes out, they're not on it. They'll be like, okay, well, most people probably want to pick like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia. I mean, there's like options out there. So that I don't think like unless you're a true fan of that college, you could be like, oh man, they don't got Notre Dame on there. That sucks. I'm not buying. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. So, big news out of Clemson as well. So
okay, what's the big news out of Clemson?
Their defensive end, Foster, will not be returning this season.
Uh-oh.
So just to give you a little background on him and why he's not returning. So he was diagnosed with COVID. He actually missed the 2020 season because he has asthma. So underlying health conditions played a part. So when he contracted the coronavirus, the COVID, it exacerbated his asthma. So he never has fully recovered. So based on medical and what his doctors were saying, he's actually leaving the game of football altogether.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So he was a graduate, a senior. So, but, you know, just you've practiced and played like your whole life.
Played for like 10, 12 years of your life.
And then
get to that point.
Get to the point. And they're not saying he can never play again, but he has to get his health to a place. You know, when you have underlying health conditions like that, and then, you know, any illness, not just COVID, you know, you could get anything and it cause you to, you know, your health to decline. So, yeah, that was some sad news, big news coming out of Clemson. But on the upside, Justin Ross, our star wide receiver, is back on the practice field for spring practice. I said R like I go to Clemson or something. But
you might as well, like right now. You might. I don't know if she had like ownership in the football program. How does that work?
No, I have a lot of family alums, so but he's not doing contact or anything like that, but he is on the practice field practicing like normal spring practice sessions. So he has an important doctor's appointment coming up in March. You know, he has to continue with the type of issue he was having with his spine and neck that he had to have the surgery on. So we'll see how that goes.
Have they have any of the players like did like a tweet
for?
You know how like the players they'll tweet and like say like I'm still inspired, blah blah whatever.
No, I haven't been on Twitter.
No, I mean you know how it like in the news though. I didn't know.
No, I haven't seen any tweets or anything like that. But I've just been kind of looking at news stories and stuff, so I haven't really been on the Twitter social media stuff in the last couple of days. Also, 5-star recruit, quarterback recruit, currently being targeted by Clemson, Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi State, is set to make his decision today, this afternoon. And so we'll see if Clemson gets him or where he goes.
We'll be able to talk about that next Friday,
His
right?
name's Ty Simpson. Mm-hmm.
Ty
Yeah.
Simpson.
Yep. So a little bit of everything going on. Recruiting. You got players leaving, players being able to get back on the practice field after being out for a year. So kind of going every which way. And I know that Joe has our too early for 2021 season top 25 predictions.
I'm not even going to go over all the top 25.
Not all the top 25. We're just going to give y'all a peek.
Yeah, because I don't know how they didn't rank Miami in the top 10.
Oh, the travesties.
Hold on, actually. I don't know how they didn't rank Miami Hurricanes in the top 10. But interesting, on your part, you're probably not going to be too happy either because they have Clemson in at number 4.
Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
And, well, they're saying that prediction due to them not having, like, their star quarterback, their star running back.
I mean, that's fair because Clemson didn't lose, I think, as much as they did last year. But I do think that Clemson lost a lot of key players. So they're going to – it's going to be tough because they start with Georgia, number 1. And, you know, Georgia is still going to be pretty stout. And Clemson is going to be finding its identity with a new quarterback. You have a returning running back. But, you know, you're losing ETN, which is, you know, your star running back, right?
Right.
And then you're using your clutch, Amari Rogers, who's doing great in postseason, by the way, for the draft. They're saying that he's doing excellent.
Good.
So when you miss those little key components like that, and not little, but you know some are big. You lose Trevor Lawrence and ETN, which is your major key components.
Right.
You have all of your defense coming back. So on that side of the ball, you're more set, which is comforting.
Which they still have a good QB that will be starting for the 2021 season.
Right. I think when DJ got in to play, he certainly showed that he's more than capable of leading the team down the field and scoring.
I got some stats for him, too. 781 yards for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
No interceptions.
And that's for his 2 starting games in 2020.
Yeah.
So those are impressive numbers.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be more of him getting acclimated, to calm down in the system, and Clemson has got to improve on their offensive line this year. Their offensive line has got to give him protection, especially with him being a young starter. They have to give him that protection, which I was looking over a post that they had on Bleacher Report, and they were talking about 2021 recruits that could start as a freshman. One of the names on that list was Tristan Lee, which is an offensive tackle for Clemson that's coming into Clemson. Because Clemson really, they had a young offensive line last year that it showed when they got to the playoffs. You know, the youth showed on the offensive line.
Right.
They'll have that experience and year of growth, but they just have to get a bit better and more prepared the offensive line does.
I think they're going to have a good season, though.
Yeah, I think it's fair to have them at 4 with just not knowing what's going to happen on offense.
Okay, so now this is surprising, though. They got Georgia in at 3.
They always have Georgia high, and Georgia always just sucks. I'm not saying Georgia sucks. This is what I'm going to say.
Well,
Georgia is not a top 3 team. Top 10, I'll give Georgia a top 10. But
you got to explain your reason.
Georgia tends to have a pretty decent defense. But their offense last year, that quarterback they had for most of the year was horrific.
That's a strong word.
Like, it just wasn't good decision-making to have him at quarterback. He couldn't see over the offensive line, so he couldn't see to throw the ball down the field. They weren't very good on offense. I mean, I just don't think that Georgia deserves to be number 3. We'll see. Well, we'll see what the standings come out at when they do the preseason standings, and you'll probably have a top 10 matchup, maybe even a top 5 matchup going into the first week of college football with Clemson, Georgia playing.
Right.
You got Alabama, Miami.
Which I don't know why they put Alabama as Miami.
Because
no, stop. I'm gonna tell you why. This is why they started this. They said that they were going to put Alabama against Miami. So if they lose, which Miami against Alabama, that's gonna be a hard game for Miami. And if they lose,
Alabama lost a lot.
Last year?
Alabama lost a lot of talent off their roster.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like lost games.
They lost a lot of talent off their roster. They're going to be refining their identity on offense as well.
Well,
they lost their quarterback. They're losing Smith. They
still got Bryce Young.
Well, I mean, they are going to
lose their strengths,
right,
that they have for 2020,
right.
But they still got a strong team, though.
We had this debate. I'm not saying that they do not have a strong team.
Well, she's saying Miami is going to beat Alabama.
That's not what I said.
She said that Miami is going to beat Alabama in September 2021. Y'all give it up for her. Give it up for her. Let's get her a shirt. We have to get her a shirt for the next episode.
Don't give me no Miami shirt. I ain't going to wear it.
Number 2, Oklahoma. They have Oklahoma coming in at number 2.
Now, Oklahoma, they keep a pretty decent offense. I mean, they'll score points for the most part, unless they play Clemson. But, seriously, Oklahoma tends to score, and if they get better on defense, they'll be competitive.
They have a lot of key players that's coming back.
Yeah.
For 2021.
Yeah.
So.
Oklahoma has a lot of returners.
Yep. They started quarterback coming in.
They're actually saying that he could be a Heisman nominee.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't doubt it.
Because he did well last year.
And then you see like the upcoming competition against him, like pretty much like all the Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, like all these key people who was like competition for him, right? So I could see that.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, number 2. Number 1, Alabama.
Well, we know that.
Number 1, Alabama.
But this is my problem.
I was gonna say it until she responded.
This is my problem.
We knew we was gonna force a response out of her.
Because I be trying to be nice, because sometimes he'd be like, you gotta be more nice about it.
I don't want to say nice. I say you can't be so harsh. Just
I'm not.
You don't
harsh.
see ESPN,
I'm a realist.
NBC. You don't see none of the commentators
I'm not
like,
ESPN.
yeah. So we was looking at this team and they just
I'm not.
garbage and they suck and
I'm a realist. Okay, realist.
Okay, so in good terms, what are you gonna say about Alabama?
This is the only problem I have when you have these national big names doing all these early predictions, right?
Right.
Alabama is losing key players as well, right?
Mhm.
But they put them and will keep them number one because they are Alabama.
I don't think that's it.
They will.
I don't think that's it.
Look, Alabama could lose 2 games this year. They could, I think even the year that they didn't even make it to the college football playoff, they were still ranked in the top 4 the next year. They didn't even make it to the college football playoff. And then the next year for the preseason rankings, they were ranked like number 2.
No,
Just because they were
number
Alabama.
2?
Just because they were Alabama. They didn't even make it to the playoff the year before. I'm telling you, it's because they're Alabama. I'm fine with it, though, because it's fun to negotiate and see who's going to be where and opinions. And then when the season plays itself out, then you see who wins.
Yeah, because I definitely don't see Miami not being in the top 10.
Now, yeah, I don't understand that. I see now Miami. I don't know what their schedule looks like. We'll have to look at their schedule again.
Well, outside of Alabama, I mean, that's the toughest game. And as long as if they can compete against Alabama and keep their heads into, like, no matter what happens in that game, that they're there to play for the season.
But you know why teams are doing it? They're adding more competitive out-of-conference games because the playoff committee is more forgiving if you play a tougher schedule and lose a game than if you play a weak schedule and win all your games.
Right.
So, and win your conference. You can lose an out-of-conference game, win your conference, and be a one-loss team and still go to the playoff. If you lose within your conference, then, you know, it's harder to get to the conference championship anyway, right? But then you have less of a chance of getting into the playoff. So you have to have a stronger strength of schedule.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. It's only a few months away.
Yeah.
And we'll keep you guys updated as we get closer and closer to that first kickoff game.
All right. So let's see if you guys are listening. Hashtag YMANation.
Hashtag YMANation down in the comment section.
Do it.
Do it.
Share.
Share in. Actually, on YouTube, if you click the share button, it allows you to share to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all the sites.
And then go to Facebook and share again.
Yeah, starting next week, when on the YMANation Facebook page, every time you hashtag YMANation and you share, your name will go in the drawing for $2,000. Imagine for the whole month, like if
you're
your
doing
name
that, yeah.
is there like 10 times, and you just happen to be a Travis McKenzie. That dude won all during the holiday season. It's like amazing. It'd be like 40 people named in there, and his name would get pulled like once out of the 40. But yeah, guys, we'll see you on Monday for Wealth Building Monday. Good job when you seen the time too. I see you would look. I don't know if she gonna keep talking, but
View what the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.